welcome to my channel. You're now locked and loaded into Ghost Style Visuals. My name is Ali G Star and I'm going to be your host today. Based on the description of this video, I'm going to be talking about jinns and what jinns are, how they were created, how they affect and penetrate people, and also how to protect yourself. So, getting started. Jinns were created by Iblis, which is a devil. He's the devil. Iblis is the devil. He created these jinns from a smokeless fire, and reason being is he wanted to create his own army. In Muslim practices, when Allah had his first believers and commanded them to prostrate in his praise, all prostrated but Iblis. Iblis said, I will not prostrate to you. I will not be a part of this motion because I am better than you. You are the creator, you are the master, you are all, but I am better than you and I will show you that I'm better than you. So what Iblis did is he gathered himself and his abilities and he created these jinns from a smokeless fire. This smokeless fire enabled 3 sets of jinns, starting from the lowest category, which is a jinn that cannot be seen. It's invisible. However, this jinn's ability is to fly. It flies around the earth and it preys on vulnerable people who haven't developed themselves as a spatial and environmental being. The second type of jinn is one that invests itself in people and living things. So what it does is it's able to shift shape into people's bodies and it takes over them and controls them. When you are under the influence of a jinn, you are possessed. This is a spirit that takes possession over living things' bodies, so it can even penetrate an animal. Say, for instance, a dog, which could be, the dog would be erratic, it's not controlled, the dog doesn't eat, it wants to fight, it wants to bite people, it's not a peaceful animal. So when it takes over on a human being, it can either absorb energy from a person in the sense that it would make you feel depressed, it would make you feel lifeless, it would want to cause issues in your life, it would make you start to think that things are not really how they seem. So this jinn, when you come to the second jinn, that can be seen in the sense that it's taken over a living vessel, you're in some shit. Because this one is the one that essentially can start to manipulate other living beings. And the thing about it is, when this second jinn is speaking into a person, speaking into a living vessel, it makes them believe that it's their own voice. It makes them believe that it's their own inner conscience. So in that sense, it can be quite dangerous. And what you want to do in order to alleviate yourself from this kind of issue is you want to be able to spot a change in yourself, in your thought process. You may not be sleeping properly because this is exactly the time when it harnesses itself and tries to manifest its power off of your living being and your living vessel. So you want to ensure that you are praying quite regularly and often in order to alleviate yourself from the influence of this jinn. The third kind of jinn actually has the abilities of the first two. So it's able to fly, it's invisible, it's able to shapeshift into living vessels, and last but not least, it is able to live in a closed-in environment. The way that it's able to do that is it takes over a living body, as I've mentioned, and also it gets attached to its host. So the way it does that is it chains itself to you, it ties itself to you in order to repress, drain, and sink its host. So it can be very dangerous at this stage because essentially you start to work in its favor because you are unaware of its presence. Ways of knowing that you're under attack by a jinn is by feeling your own energy, feeling your body presence, and understanding that you're low in moods, you're quite depressed, you might be feeling suicidal, potentially you could feel hopeless, you could feel drained. You know, you sleep 8 hours, the recommended 8 hours of a night, and yet still you're still very tired. You're feeling like you can't go to work, you're unable to wash. Those kind of things can essentially mean that you're under attack by a jinn. Not only that, but these jinns can send nightmares and bad dreams to you and make you feel frightened, make you feel scared. This is how they feed off of you and drain your energy. So, as I mentioned before, I'm going to talk about how you can get rid of these jinns. Essentially, what you need to do is you need to bind them in a graveyard, in a cemetery. You need to tie them up and dispose of their presence. Again, the way that you do this is by prayer, chanting, and ensuring that your energy is up. What you need to do is you need to ensure that you have 3 stones of irregular size going in chronicle order, starting from small, medium to large, 3 of the same stone. You need to have 2 silver pennies in order to pay the spirit to leave. And what you want to do is you want to say a prayer and talk to God to alleviate yourself from this jinn, to extract it from your person, remove it from your soul, and dispose of it in a graveyard, in a cemetery, in something that has dead bodies and no living energy, in order to remove it from your being. You also want to burn some sage in your presence to help the body itself. So when you burn sage and you hold it, it's very healing, and you're chanting and you're saying your prayers and you're moving that spirit away from you. That is how you get yourself away from a jinn. It's good practice anyway to pray and to keep yourself highly favored, because this works in your favor and helps to keep you close to God and keep your being nourished and sustained, so that you are not vulnerable and slow to these jinns and unseen spirits. So I hope today's video has helped you have a little bit of an understanding about jinns. Just a little bit of a recap. A recap is that there are 3 kinds of jinns: the unseen, those that are shapeshifters, and also those that live within a closed off environment. Jinns are master spirits, and they harness their energy from a living vessel, from human beings most especially, and this is how they are able to function and work. Jinns were created by Iblis from a smokeless fire, and also in order to alleviate yourself from them, you need to burn some sage and also follow the steps that I have mentioned prior in the video in order to tie down and bind a spirit to its own force. Thank you very much for watching my video. I've been Ali G Star at Gold Star Visuals. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to this video. Alright, see ya, bye.